Hello and welcome to my studio. I'm Sidney Cromer, and I've had many people ask me how I get the distressed look that I have on my frames that I make for the pictures that I take to art and craft shows to sell. So today what I'm going to do is demonstrate a little bit of that, and we'll just get started with what we have. I have an 11 by 14 frame here that I use by cutting all the pieces out of one 8-foot stick of wood. And the reason I like to do that is I found that if you combine multiple sticks using this method, one of the sticks may take the stain differently, and it's not really a stain, it's a chemical reaction. I like to keep everything pretty simple in one stick and try to avoid having those differences that you have. This particular piece I really like. I like to get wood that has a lot of character in it, knots, things like that, and this one even has almost a decay looking part in it, but I like the way it looks. The thing that I use for the stain is not pickles, but this is an old pickle jar that I have put a piece of steel wool in it and some distilled white vinegar. Now I've let this set overnight. I found that it works better to at least get 24 hours in it before you use it. If you wait too long, it may get rusty and come up with a color that I really don't care as much for. So we're going to go ahead with this one at 24 hours and see what we get. I'm just going to put a piece of cardboard here just to kind of protect my table, and we will begin just dipping in and brushing onto the wood. I have to be really careful because I've found that more than once I have completed one, or so I thought, and would come up a few days later and notice that I missed generally one of the outsides or the inside portions. So I will try to make sure I get all of this. Also, the wood I'm using is cedar. I found that it is the best wood for me to use using this method of a chemical reaction between the steel wool and vinegar. I've tried it on some pine, but the pine did not take very well. Matter of fact, you could not tell that it had done much by the time I got through with it. So I'll just continue, make sure I get all of the edges that are exposed. The good thing about this also is you don't have to worry about getting stain all over you. And it will smell like vinegar for a little while, but that's okay. Okay, I do believe I've got everything. Put a little bit more right here, just to make sure those knots are covered up really well. You can see this has made some really good changes. I like the way that it brings out the dark in these knots, picks up the different grains. Some of it it'll color darker, some of it will be a little bit lighter, but I'm usually pretty pleased with this. Now generally, like I said, if I let it go too long, it brings out a different color of the stain. I think it puts a little bit more of the rust into it, and I don't like that as much. But this, once it dries out, it'll be a little bit more gray than it is right now probably. But I think this one's going to turn out to be a really nice frame. Okay, we've let the frame dry overnight. It's about 24 hours later, and you can see the difference that it has made. We've gone from something like this to this. Usually pretty pleased with the results that I get out of this method. I encourage you to give it a try if you want to do a little bit on your own. It helps to really make the picture pop out. Gives it a little bit of an aged look. Framed up, ready to go and hang on the wall. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, just get in contact with me or shoot me a text or email and I'll try to see what I can do to answer it. But until next time, you have a blessed day. Thanks.